when we filmed our preliminary task, I think when we watched it back and really looked at it, we realised just how unprofessional it seemed to come across, like in the sense that we didn't use equipment that deemed to be absolute necessities, like a tripod. So in our preliminary task, the camera's so shaky, it's unbelievable. And I think if we hadn't have realised that as early on as we did, when it came to filming, we wouldn't have actually used a tripod, and so the audience would have been so distracted by the camera just constantly shaking. It would have just looked so unprofessional. It would have been unreal. As well, we used quite a low quality camera in our preliminary task, and even though the one we used for our final piece wasn't outstanding quality, it was better than the one we had used. I think if we had used that low quality camera, it would have looked really bad, because especially in our preliminary, it really did look like we'd filmed it on our phones, and it honestly looked diabolical. If we'd have used that for our final piece, it wouldn't be the standard that I feel it is now. In our preliminary task, we did use things like the 180-degree rule, as well as the match on action. I'm quite glad that I realised early on how important the 180-degree rule was, because when it came to filming, I most probably would have filmed it from more angles than I should have done, and I'd have crossed the imaginary line. And when watching it back and when other people watched it, I think the audience would have actually got really confused as to what was going on. And it wouldn't be like you were watching it from a specific angle. You'd have literally been moving around so much it wouldn't have made sense. I think as well, when it actually came to filming, we realised the variety of shots we could use weren't limited at all. We could literally film from any angle and somehow make it work when it came to editing. Like, for example, there was one shot that we did where we'd done a shot of the actress's foot, or we tried to, and we tried to do a shot of her walking, but where I'd set up the tripod, it hadn't actually filmed her feet at all, and it actually filmed her waist as she was walking. And then when we watched it back, at first we thought we wouldn't use it at all because it was an accidental shot, but when it came to it, we did use it because it actually looked a lot better than we thought. So I think from our preliminary, we did kind of experiment with angles and things like this, and it gave us the confidence, in a sense, to experiment a little bit more when it came to our actual filming, as we did film quite a lot of extra shots just in case we didn't have enough and it really came to it. I think overall I was quite happy with the final piece, especially considering that we changed our idea. I think if I was to do this again, I'd think it out more at the very beginning and make sure that my idea wasn't too complicated, as it was originally. However, I think the thriller genre was probably the best thing we could have done. I actually really enjoyed filming it, and I felt that filming it with the tripod and with the actor and the actress that I did, I thought it worked quite well. And I think we all cooperated nicely, which was kind of a bonus, because at the end of the day, we managed to do what we wanted, and we managed to create a piece that we were proud of, and I think that was one of the main things that we wanted to do right from the start. So yeah, I think if it wasn't for doing the preliminary task right at the start, we wouldn't have created the piece we'd have done, because we wouldn't have the skill and we wouldn't have had the knowledge that we had after doing it.